So, we've seen what the pros can do, now let's see what the AMs and the Pro-Ams can do. Welcome back to Hockenheim for the first round of the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends series. These guys will be doing battle over the same 8 weeks on the same 8 circuits as the pros. The main difference though is the lap times might not be quite as quick as we saw with the pro class. That doesn't mean the race is going to be any less action packed. Before we can go racing though, there is the small matter of qualifying. So let's find out how these guys are going to line up for race 1. So, pole position went the way of Robster in the Alfa Romeo with Yuki Crony in the top Nissan Skyline sharing the front row. Row 2 is Chris Threadgill, top AM driver, and Rob Racer on P4. Row 3, Kenzie and Major Raver. Row 4 is the top Volvo of Ninja Goat and Angry Unicorn in the Sierra. Row 5 is Cubs and Retro Rixie in the BMW. Row 6 sees another BMW of R. Greenwood and KB Racing in another Volvo, with Captain Stora and Penfold sharing row number 7. Row 8 is Millsy White and D.I. Bohr in the last of the Volvos. Row 9 is Devil's Boogeyman and Sir Nuts. Row 10 is Ghosty Nightwolf and Maddest Dog Pete in P20. Row 11 is Stumpy Steam and JGK Manine. Rounding out the field, it's Noodles and Starlord in the final Alfa Romeo. So we're ready to go for the first round of the AM and the Pro-Am Championship. Lights go out, away we go. Good start from the 2 Alfa Romeos. That's Robster. It looks like Chris has got a good start there. That Nissan's not got away too far. He's lost 1 position. He might be about to lose another position to Kenzie around the outside of turn number 1. Looks like Crony just about hangs on. Chris Threadgill just bobbles off towards the outside of the curb. Will he be able to hang on? Oh, he's managed to get in front of Robster, so Chris leads the AM driver from 3rd on the grid, managed to get himself straight up towards the front of this field. Will he be able to drive away, or will Robster in the Alfa be able to get back on terms with him? But you can see already the top 4 already starting to build a bit of a gap here as we head down the back straight for the first time, heading in towards the hairpin turn number 4. It's Alfa 1, Alfa 2, Nissan 3, bit of a gap back to Kenty in the 3rd Alfa. In 4th place with an even bigger gap to the rest of the field already. Looking at the number 2 car in 2nd place, they're having to defend already from Crony around the outside in that Nissan. Will he be able to get the power down? The 4-wheel drive Alfa just about defends. It's now an Alfa 1, 2, 4, 5 as Cubs has got himself up the order as well. So awesome start there from Cubs in the Alfa. But the Nissan now around the outside of Threadgill in the number 2 car. Will he be able to hold it on? Not quite, but he's still on the inside. He sent it down the inside there. He's just about got the position done. A little bit further back, Goat's now fighting off. Looks like Unicorn in the Sierra. The Sierras haven't started too well in this field. The Volvos seem to be a little bit further up than we saw in the Pro class. Heading down towards turn number 4, you see Stora in the Alfa Romeos getting away from this battle. So these guys need to maybe start working together to try and catch up towards the field in front of them. Unless they might get left behind, and they might bring Rixie and the BMW behind into this fight. Lock up from the Volvo heading into the hairpin. He's gone really deep. It doesn't look like he's wanted to send it that far into the corner, but he's just about hung on to the place. You see KB Racing in the background gets a little bit sideways, maybe a little bit of contact in the background as well. But Goat in the Volvo just about hangs on. That BTC Norland inspired livery looks quite good around this circuit, but the Sierra though is going around the outside of the corner, not quite got the legs on the Volvo. That Volvo is quite impressive in a straight line. Despite its shape, you wouldn't think it to be too aerodynamic and be able to cut a decent hole. The Sierra though thrown it down the inside. The rear-wheel drive car's better through the corners, and he's got the position before they head in towards the stadium section. So awesome move there from Unicorn and the Sierra. Now Goat in the Volvo has to be careful not to lose another position to Rixie in the BMW. But the Volvo's trying to go around the outside of the Sierra. A little bit of a bump there, but the Volvo's not going to be able to get the power down. The front-wheel drive car's not quite as strong as the rear-wheel drive in this early part of the race, and now he's vulnerable to a move from Rixie in the BMW. So Rixie's trying to throw it around the outside of the final couple of corners. Thinks better of it, lives to fight another day, and he's probably going to try and lock into the slipstream, try and get a move towards turn number 1. So across the start-finish line, these three go. The Volvo's close right up onto the Sierra there. That Volvo's mentally in a straight line compared to the others. He's throwing it towards the inside of turn number 1. This would be a good move if he can pull this off, under braking into turn 2. As he head down the straight, the side-by-side. Look, just enough space being given. The pair are running it down the middle of the road. The Sierra's trying to defend, but the Volvo's still there. He's still on the inside. Sierra sideways. That's going to give the Volvo the opportunity to get the position into the bottom hairpin after this long straight. The Volvo gets a good exit. The Sierra bobbles over the curb. He's gone a little bit sideways. Contact with Rixie at the back. The Sierra has been spat out towards the outside of the circuit, but it's the Volvo, and it looks like the Sierra, is that Rob Racer who's got himself up the order? Now Rixie's losing out to Greenwood as he waits up to let Unicorn to get the position back as he head into the hairpin braking. Looking at Unicorn, he's down a few positions. He's now got his teammate of Nuts down the inside. Racer's locked up in the Duckham's car. That's going to allow the Volvo to take the position and move even further up the field. As you see, one of the Bastos cars has gone deep. Is that the Unicorn car that we're looking at? There's one of the Bastos cars and Greenwood going at it now as he heading towards the Mercedes Grandstand. Let's see if we can get a number on that car, see if we can figure out who it is. That looks like that's Unicorn, actually, that's fighting there. He's now got KB Racing in the Volvo as we go on board with Greenwood. He's got Rixie in his sight. Rixie, that BMW, doesn't look too happy heading through that corner. A little bit sideways as he head under the Xbox One bridge in towards the stadium section. There's only been a couple of laps in this race, but it's already been quite frenetic. The Volvo runs a little bit wide. Will he just keep it out the gravel? He does, but Rixie doesn't. Rixie's clipped the gravel. That's allowed Greenwood through, and it's going to allow Unicorn through as well. Greenwood's run a little bit wide in the BMW. Will allow Unicorn through? Not quite, no, it's not. But Unicorn now under pressure from Rixie. He's going to be looking to make positions up a lot very quickly. So, battle for third place. Crony's just dropping off that battle there. As you got Kenty now trying to make his way past the Martini Alfa Romeo in front of him. That gap has been closing over the last couple of laps. Kenty in the monster-sponsored Alfa Romeo is on an absolute charge here. He's in third place at the moment. He's going to be going for second before too long. That 111 car looks very well hooked up around this Hockenheim circuit. He's gone for it already. He's just shown the nose. Thregel's run a little bit wide. Kenty's got the cut back. He's up into second place. So that's the Alfa Romeo, the white and pink Alfa, up into second place. And the speed that he's made his way through that pack already, you're going to have to think he's probably going to be challenging Robster in the next couple of laps for the lead. Going back to that fight a little bit further back, you see the KB Racing Volvo. That Chrome car's now about to lose out to Nuts on the inside in that Sierra. That Volvo has got decent straight line speed, but the Sierra with the rear wheel drive is able to just about put the power down that a little bit better. It's now Volvo versus Volvo as he head down the start-finish straight in towards turn number one. It's DI Bohr in the Autobrite Direct Team hard car that's thrown it down the inside. Heading in towards turn number two, the 00 is up alongside the 110. Volvo versus Volvo. These cars cutting a massive gap in the air. KB locks up, runs a little bit deep. Bohr's just about going to get that position. Volvo versus Volvo. It's the team hard car that's come out on top in that battle. Now as they head down the back straight towards hairpin of turn number 4, they've got to be careful as Penfold and Nightwolf might be about to get into this battle as well. Look at the two Bastos cars running together, teammates running nose to tail. These two need to start working together a bit like the SLR boys did in turn number 1 to try and build a gap and then maybe start about fighting. But Nuts looks like he's not going to worry about building a gap. He's going to send it straight down the inside of his teammate. Is in front. Rixie and Greenwood are starting to get into each other there. The two BMWs are fighting. The two Sierras are fighting. The two Volvos are fighting as KB's got back in front of Bohr. So awesome move there through the flat right-hander before the Mercedes Grandstand. Rixie in front, just gets in front of Greenwood. KB starts defending from Bohr. He runs a little bit wide. Bohr's going to throw it towards the outside as we head past the first part of the drag strip. Bohr's in front. So the battle now between Cubs and Storer. These guys are fighting over what I believe is 5th position. They're just off that lead battle. You can see the guys in front. You've got Kenty, you've got Dragrill, you've got Yukoji Crony in front. But this is Storer versus Cubs. This is an AM versus a Pro-Am. Storer is the AM, Cubs is the Pro-Am in this battle. But the pair are nose to tail. There is absolutely nothing to separate them. So Ninja's caught up to the back of Rob Racer in the Sierra. Volvo versus Sierra. That Volvo has a little bit more straight line speed, but Rob moves over to defend the Duckham's car versus the Team BTC Tribute car. In towards that hairpin, the Volvo's on the inside. The Duckham's cars run a little bit wide. The Volvo just has the position. You can see already they managed to get past Rixie and Greenwood in this as well. So in front that Volvo, that 91 car is definitely hooked up really well. It's probably the best showing we've seen from the Volvos so far. They weren't that impressive in the Pro Lobby, but in the AMs, they're going pretty well here so far. The front wheel drive seems to be favouring a couple of drivers. Nightwolf versus KB in the 110 Volvo. So there's one Volvo gained to place, another one is about to lose it, heading towards the stadium section. I did say these guys might just be getting into this battle. And Nightwolf's already managed to dispatch Boar. Penfold's getting up towards the back of Boar as well. Now Nightwolf is looking for a move on the KB Racing Volvo. Well, he's run off. He's run wide. That allowed the Alpha through. Will it allow the second Volvo through? Yes, it has. The Boar's up in position after a little bit of a bump and run. And KB Racing is off towards the grass. Will he be able to get it back on track? Just about. Misses collecting any more cars. So good driving from him to get that car back on the track. So Threadgrill in hot pursuit of the guys in front of him. A little bit of traffic to get through. Got to keep an eye on Storer and Cubs behind. They might get into this battle. Oh, it's contact with the backmarker. The backmarker's got involved in this. The Martini Alfa Romeo's off. Storer's got himself through. So that's Storer up to fourth. Cubs has gone off as well. So Alfa Romeo's going off left, right and centre here. 3 Alphas off the track in one go there. But Threadgrill just comes back on. He's only lost 1 position at the moment, but that's going to leave him vulnerable to Cubs. Let's head on board with him. Let's see what happens. You've got the back marker in front and the Chrome Alfa Romeo. Threadgrill's turned a little bit early. He's thrown it to the inside. Probably didn't caught the back marker out there. Didn't see him coming from that far back. This is on board with Cubs now. Let's see what happened to him heading through the same corner. Oh, he's just run a little bit wide. He's just clipped the gravel. So as he's come back on, that back marker's... Oh my God, that was close. That was very nearly a massive accident there. So you can see that gap for the lead is closing. Robster's being caught now by Kenty, but it looks like he is going to run out of time. He's not quite going to have the pace to catch up with Robster. There's just a handful of corners left to go, and it looks like the white and green Alfa Romeo just about has this one covered off. So heading through the final couple of corners, Alpha's won both races in the pro lobby, and it looks like they are definitely the favoured car. They're definitely the ones you want to be in. But it's not a pair of teammates that have run away with this one. It's Pro-Am driver, it's Robster who's going to come across the line to take the first win of the season in the Pro-Am lobby. Kenty's going to come home a very, very close second. You've got to think if there was a couple more laps in this race, that gap might have been a little bit different. But confirmation of the full order here. Robster wins ahead of Kenty. UKOG Crony makes it a Pro-Am 1-2-3. Top-Am driver Storer's there in 4th place. Cubs in 5th. Retro Rixie 6th. Ninja Goat 7th. Rob Racer 8th. Second of the Pro-Ams was Chris Threadgrill after that off. And 3rd Am is 10th place Angry Unicorn. Rob Greenwood in the Case Pack BMW rounds out the top 11 with KB Racing, a 4th Am driver in the top 12. So this next race is going to be a full reverse grid. Maddest Dog Pete and Stumpy Steam share the front row with It's Noodles and Sir Nuts on row 2. JGK Benign and Ghosty Nightwolf will share row 3 with Devil's Boogeyman and Millsy White on row number 4. So ready to go for race number 2. Lights go out, away we go. Good start from the Alfa Romeo off pole position. The BMW and the Nissan are really slow away there. The Alfa, the only four-wheel drive car in the top 4. And they're all going off wide towards the outside of turn number 1. But it's Alfa that leads, Sierra second. Look at the gap that Alfa has already. That four-wheel drive really paid dividends on the starts. Alfa first, Sierra second, BMW third, Alfa fourth. Ghosty Nightwolf has got himself up into 4th place as the Bastos car and the BMW are going at it for P number 2. It all kicked off at the start. Let's see what happens. We're on board with It's Noodles heading in towards turn number 1 off 4 position, off P4. You can see how good those Alfa Romeos are off the start. And we're just going to get contacted and piled off at the start of that one. So that's what happened at the back of picture there. So on board now with Devil's Boogeyman. Let's see if we can see what happens to that Nissan. So we go to turn in and the Nissan's there. There's not really much you can do. Oh, he pushes him round. That one's a little bit naughty. Going back to the fight though, we've got Ball's got himself up the order pretty quickly. He had a good finish in race 1, so he's getting... Oh, there's a car wide. That'll be amazing if he can hang on to that one. It looks like he's just managed it. Not sure who that was, but 10 out of 10 for some really good skills there as the Volvo locks up. Millsy's locked up. They're all locking up, heading in towards the hairpin for the first time. Couple of cars getting back on the track after a trip towards the exit of the circuit there. But looking now, Ball's got a decent gap behind, so he can just focus on the cars that are in front of him. You've got, looks like Millsy's trying to make a move on Penfold there, heading in towards the Mercedes-Benz Grandstand. That's Threadgrill now's got himself up into P number 2. These two came together in race 1. Will it happen again? Pete runs a little bit wide on the exit of that corner. He's not quite as experienced as Threadgill behind him. And the number 2 car is going to sweep around the outside of the corner where they made contact in the last race. This time it's Pete on the inside, Threadgill on the outside. And this time the moves come off without a touch. Further back, Penfold is trying to defend from Boar, and that looks like Unicorn. They're both trying to make their way through the field on these slower drivers that are in front of him. Remember, reverse grid, the quicker guys start at the back. So they've got to fight their way through the order. Unicorn's down the inside of the Volvo, heading through the final corner. The Volvo, though, has Penfold square in his sight. Boar and Penfold were teammates last season in the touring cars. Now they're fighting against each other. They're in totally different machinery. Looking a little bit further on, this is Stumpy Steve and Millsy now trying to find a way past Pete for second place. Pete's doing quite well to hang on. This is his first real competitive race in the Team Hard Online series. Oh, Steam's round, Stumpy's round. He's taking Millsy with him. Millsy's just about carried on, but Steam's off towards the grass. Will that allow any more cars through? Yes, it does. Penfold's managed to get through on Millsy, so Penfold's up into second place. Millsy's down to third, and he's about to be down to fourth as Boar's going to chuck it down the inside. Correction, Millsy's now down to fifth. Boar's up to fourth. You see Threadgill in the lead. Pete just about lights the rear tyres up, heading out of that hairpin. He's got Penfold behind him now, with Boar in fourth place. Millsy, though, has the two Bastos cars. They're already running together. So awesome start there by Unicorn. We're going on board with Penfold now as he tries to find a way past Pete. This is the same place that Threadgill finds. You can see the gap that Threadgill's got already. He's got some decent pace in that Alfa Romeo at the front. It's Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, but it is a change for second place as Penfold throws it down the inside of Pete. Pete moves over to take the line. There's contact. Penfold spat out towards the barriers. Will he keep it out of them? No, he's not. He's bounced back in towards the traffic. This might cause a bit of a domino effect. Millsy and Boar are going at it there side by side. Penfold just manages to avoid contact with the rest of the field. And Kenty there is up the order in towards the top 10 already. So the guy who finished second in race number 1 is already towards the top 10. He's got the two Bastos cars in front. Boar's in front of the two Sierras. Kenty's trying to find his way through. And Penfold tumbled down the order. Look at that gap that Pete has now over Millsy. That little bit of contact has given Pete a little bit of breathing room. So maybe he's got a lap or two now before he needs to worry about the cars behind him. You see Rixie now is trying to fight his way through. So Rixie's passed down the inside of the Kenty Alfa Romeo. You've got Boar versus Nuts, I believe that is. No, it's Boar versus Unicorn. These guys were going at it in race 1. There's contact between the two of them. Nuts throws it down the inside of his teammate. That was a brave move. Heading in towards turn number 2. That's allowed Kenty to get the 3 of them. He's got 2 of them straight away. Now he's locked in the slipstream of the 89 car, heading down the back straight. Look how quickly Millsy's managed to catch up to Pete. You've got to think that if these guys catch up to Pete, it's going to get quite interesting quite quickly with that slower car in the middle of it all. But these guys now a pack of 5 heading down towards the hairpin at turn number 4. Kenty's on the inside, Rixie on the outside. You've got Unicorn in the middle of all this. Amazing work by all the drivers to make sure they keep that clean, and Crony's up in this fight as well. So you've got just about everyone fighting over 5th position right now as the BMW and the Sierra behind us are side by side, heading through the left, the right-hander. Rixie's just hanging it on there. Crony's trying to go around the outside of Penfold as well. Rixie down the inside. He's just about got the position done. The superior driver, the BMW, right on board with Sierra now. Sierra runs out a little bit wide, but manages to come back on track without losing too many places. So awesome driving there to keep that position there, and he's still right in under the rear wing of that BMW, heading through towards the stadium section. They're catching Mad Dog Pete. Kenty looks like he's already dispatched that car. So Kenty in 3rd place now. Pete's in 4th. Rixie 5th. And you've got Unicorn there in 6th place behind, though. It looks like it's just about everyone for 7th. You've got Crony's managed to get up there pretty quickly as well. So Crony's going to be trying to get in on this fight as soon as possible. Pete runs out wide towards the exit of the final couple of corners. That's going to allow Rixie to show the nose of the BMW down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. But already you can see the guys who are clearing that Chrome Alfa Romeo. See how quickly they're clearing off already. Pete started on pole position. He finished last in the first race. He's doing extremely well to be running this far up so far into the race already. But he has got some experienced guys behind him. Looking at Millsy, he locks up. He's trying to defend from Kenty there. Kenty in 2nd place now. This is where he found himself in race number 2, and he ran out of laps before he could get towards the leader. This time, though, he might just about have a chance to try and do that again. This time might go one better, but he's got a lot of time to try and catch up. Threadgill's just run away with this one so far. He's got a decent gap to start off with. But looking now at the Bastos Sierra of Unicorn and Rixie, the 395 versus the 89. Kenty's trying to defend from Millsy as Pete's gone wide and he's lost a couple of positions there. Unicorn, UKOG Crony lights up the rear wheels of the Skyline. So this is the fight over 7th place right now. You've got Robster, the winner of race number 1, trying to fight his way through the pack now. He's got Rob Racer in front of him. And it's going to be 3 wide into that hairpin as Nuts in the Sierra is going to fancy a run at this one. You can see Boar is trying to defend from Storer. Unicorn's already managed to get on the back of the guys in front. So this is a fight over. Correction, it's 8th place. As you've got them 3 wide now, about to head through the flat right-hander. This isn't really a place where you can go 3 wide through here. 2 wide's interesting enough. The first Sierra's backed out of it. They're still side by side though in front. Rob Racer versus Robster. Robster's well deep into that corner. He's going to lose 1 place. He might be about to lose a second one here. Yes, the 89 car's throwing it around the outside. Correction, that wasn't Nuts. That was Unicorn in the 89 car that's still fighting there. So it looks like Nuts might have himself a little bit further up the order. But you can see you've got Pete and you've got KB Racing trying to get into this fight. Oh, Unicorn's off. The 89 car's run wide. Cubs, though, is about to try and throw it down the outside of the top tip car. He's just got the position done as the 88s are a little bit too narrow into that corner. And Goat's going to try and throw a move around the inside as well. And he's got the move done before they head into the final corner. So Goat in that Volvo's moving up the order. Rob Racer now has Boar and Storer in front of him. Heading through the final corner. Boar locks up. He's not been too happy with those brakes by the looks of it over the last race or so. He's been locking up quite a lot. That's going to allow Storer in the 4-wheel drive Alfa Romeo to potentially move out towards the right-hand side and throw a dive in towards turn number 1. One of the fastest corners on the circuit. Storer thinks better of it. Boar locks up again. Storer now has to defend from Rob Racer. Storer runs wide to try and hold on to the position. And just about does so. He's going to have to be careful not to pick up a track limits penalty. There was a couple handed out towards the guys in race number 1. But Storer now trying to get past Boar, going to use the 4-wheel drive of that Alfa Romeo to try and get on terms with the Volvo. The Volvos have been pretty sharpish in a straight line though, so don't count them out by the time we get down to the break-in of turn 4. The Alfa Romeo, though, is now defending as well from the Sierra. So as well as attacking, he's also got to defend. So this is quite a tricky situation. The Storer finds him and he's got the Sierra trying to fire it down the inside. Will he fancy a late dive? No, he's not, but Boars are a little bit wide. He won't need to fancy a late dive. Rob Racer's got the pair of them. Also moved down the inside. Storer and Boar locked up. Rob's in the middle of a sandwich here. The pair are still side by side, trying to go 3 wide through this right-hander again. Boar just has the legs on him. So Rob's got 1 position on Storer. Will he fancy his 2nd position on Boar? This is going to be a really late lunge if he can get it. Not quite though. The Volvo's got him covered. This is a fight over 7th position now. It's just about everyone trying to get into this fight now. So you've got 1, 2, 3 cars that we're riding on board with now. 2 in front of us and quite a few guys behind. You see another 2 Alfa Romeos and a pair of Volvos trying to get into this battle as well. So these guys keep fighting. It's soon going to be a 7-way fight for 7th position. It's a 5-way fight as it stands, as Cubs and Robster have got themselves into this battle as well. Boar runs a little bit deep into that corner, doesn't quite get the power down. Storer's running extremely wide. That's going to allow Cubs to get in on that battle. Those 2 are fighting in race number 1. They're rekindling that battle in race number 2. Cubs has got his way past there. But Boar now trying to defend from Rob Racer as they head down the main straight. Boar using all the track and a little bit more to try and defend from that Sierra in behind him. But the Sierra just about not having the power to get past. Boar locks up into turn 1. He turns extremely late. He runs that Sierra right out of room. Cubs is using all the track to try and catch up with them. And the Sierra behind is using all the track. Boar runs the 44 car out of room completely. So Rob's asked to get out the power. And that's allowed Cubs to chuck it around his outside. Also battling between these guys. It's staying mostly clean. This is proper touring car racing. These guys are not giving each other an inch as they head down the main straight towards turn number 4, the hairpin. These guys are going to be slipstreaming each other. If this was Formula 1, they'd have DRS. But these touring cars just have massive amounts of power, around 300 horsepower in each of these cars to push them down the straight. Heading in towards the braking zone. Cubs has already got past that Sierra. So the power of the Alfa Romeo gets him through. Boar locks up again into that hairpin. That's caught Cubs out and allowed Rob Racer down the inside of him. Will Rob fancy a run at Boar this time round? Not quite. Cubs is coming back at him. So instead of attacking, he's trying to defend. Inside behind, Storer's got Robster to worry about as well. Looks like Robster's managed to get past. So race 1 winner is starting to make his way through the field again. He started absolute dead last in 23rd position, and he's already pulled himself up towards the top 10 as we ride on board with Rob Racer in the Sierra. Cubs has managed to get past him now, so it's Cubs' turn to try and have a crack at Boar. But these guys fighting has just allowed the Volvo to try to get away from them now. So not only do they have to worry about defending, they also have to worry about trying to catch back up. Stora's managed to get past Robster, but he's just dropped a wheel in the gravel. Robster's going to try and fancy a run at him, but Stora's gone for a real big dive on Rob Racer, and he's just about got the position. That was a little bit cheeky, it was a little bit contact inside the Alfa Romeo and the Sierra. The Sierra's going to repay the favour though, tit for tat between these two. And the 44 car just about has that position. He's back into the top 10. Remember, this is the fight over 7th position. These guys are not fighting for a win, but they're not giving each other an absolute inch. So it's Ball 7th, Cubs 8th, Racer 9th, Stora just about hanging on to the last position in the top 10, but he's got Robster down his inside. The Alfa Romeo's really bad over that inside curve. They come up quite a lot, meaning it's really easy for them to bobble out towards the outside and in towards the barrier. Cubs, those having a look for 7th place on the inside of Boar. Goat now trying to get past Robster for 11th place. Awesome racing between these guys. It's all it is going on at the front. Kenty is starting to catch up, but we can't take our eyes off this battle. These guys are fighting way too hard. As you see, Robster's fallen off towards the outside of the pack. Cubs and Stora are going at it again. The pair of them are side by side. Stora got the double draft there. He managed to get the draft on Rob Racer as well. He's around the outside of the Sierra. Cubs is going down the inside. 3 wide into the hairpin. That's going to be really impressive if that can come off. Cubs hasn't managed it. He's run extremely deep. He's going to lose one place. He's going to lose another place. He might be about to lose out to Goat in the Volvo as well, but Stora now has Rob Racer in his sights, and all this fighting, despite the lock-up in the hairpin, is just allowing Boar to clear off in 7th place. It's 3 cars running nose to tail for 8th place behind. Stora's trying to get around the outside of Rob Racer. That move's going to be impressive if you can pull that off. Not quite. Riding on board with Cubs now as they head towards the final couple of corners in this lap. Stora's run extremely wide. Is he going to lose out here? No, he's not. He's just about got the power down. A little bit further in, Rob's managed to get down the inside of Boar. Boar's lost the position. Rob races up to 7th place. Is this going to be the moment where Boar falls down the order and everyone else starts getting through? One car's managed to do it. They must be about to find their way past that Volvo. Stora and Cubs are sending it round down the outside. Stora's managed to get the place. These guys are going to use their 4-wheel drive. Cubs to one side, Stora to the other. Stora's got the move done. Cubs is going down the inside. Boar's off on the grass. That's going to allow a whole host of cars to get through there. But Boar now falling down the order. The cork in the bottle has been released. And Goat now has managed to get up past that Volvo. He's lost another position to Unicorn there, and he's about to lose out to Robster behind. So Boar falling down the order out of the top 7 now. Rob Racer versus Stora versus Cubs. This is the fight for 7th position now. The 3 of them look like they're about to try and pull away. They're already getting some ground on the chasing pack, which at the moment is led by Boar, who's side by side with the other Volvo. But Stora's side by side with Rob heading in towards the Mercedes grandstand. Will Stora be able to hold his nerve around the outside? Not quite, but will Rob get the cut back? Will he be able to keep it on the track? On board with Stora now. These two are still going at it. Absolutely fantastic racing for 7th place here. Remember, this is nowhere near the podium. These guys are fighting over pride. This is not for money. This is for fun. And Stora's chucking it down the inside. We got a car off in the gravel. What looks like Noodles, who had an off earlier in the race, so he's out of this one. But Rob Racer is still hanging on. Stora's about to lose out to Cubs if he's not careful. Stora just clips the grass. That allowed Cubs down the inside. This is amazing touring car action between these guys. It's so far keeping pretty clean. The Volvo's getting into each other behind as well, though, as I'd say that. And you've got Alpha versus Alpha, but that might allow Rob Racer to clear off in 7th place. Stora versus Cubs, though, the pair are drafting each other. But this is your winner. This is Chris Threadgill. He's the leading AM driver, the number 2. This is his first appearance in the Team Hard Online series, and he wins round number 2 of the AM and Pro-Am lobby. Taking a look at the full results, it was Kent who came home 2nd. Rixie completed the podium in the BMW. Crony in the Skyline came home 4th place. Millsy 5th. Unicorn 6th. And then that battle we were watching for 7th was won by Captain Stora. Unfortunately, the cameras didn't pick that move up. Robster came home 8th, Cubs in 9th, Rob Racer rounded up the top 10, Ninja Goat in 11th, and having run as high as 7th, Dave Boar, DI Boar, finished in 12th. So after 2 action-packed races, let's take a look at the championship standings. First up, the AM drivers. Chris Threadgill leads the way on 111 points, Storer second on 96, Unicorn third on 90 with Millsy White on 83, KB Racing in the Volvo on 58, and Nuts rounds out the top 6 on 53. Then in the Pro-Am Championship, it's Kenty that leads the way on 138, Crony 14 points back on 124, Robster just 4 points further back on Crony in third place, Retro Rixie a point further back on Robster on 119, Cubs outside the top 100 points on 93 in fifth place, and the top Volvo Ninja Goat on 84. Next time we see the AMs and the Pro-Ams is going to be when we head to Mount Panorama, Australia for round number 2. So if you enjoyed what you've seen and you want to see some more, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and don't forget to drop this video a like, and we'll see you at Mount Panorama.